So let's see the concurrency and concurrent states. So sometimes an object will be in two states at the same time. For example, when the printer is in on state, it can also be either printing or idle. So meaning it do nothing. It is when it is idle, it doesn't print anything. So there are several ways to express this concurrent condition. So in this section, we explain the basic approach to modeling the concurrent behavior. So this condition of being in more than one state at a time is called concurrency. So again, it means that being in more than one state at a time, or one state at the same time. So for example, the printer can be in the on state and the idle state at the same time. Hence, on and idle would be concurrent state. So these are concurrent states. So another concept that is important is the idea of a path for the object. So a path is a sequential state, as a sequential set of connected states. And transitions. So in this figure, there is only one. In our example, previously, our previous example, there is only one path. It is the path from the beginning state to the on state, then to the off state, and finally looping back on the on state. So sometimes within a state machine diagram, there will be states that are exactly concurrent states. However, when there are several states in a path that are parallel to one another, we say that those are concurrent paths. So these two states right here, we call that concurrent states. These two paths right here, we call that concurrent paths. When a state has two transitions that exit that state, it is considered an OR condition. In other words, the path for the object follows only one transitions. So meaning to say, it cannot be both. To show parallel paths with the object following both paths, that is an AND condition. A synchronization bar, so this bar right here, is used. So in this figure, the path with the idle and printing states is parallel with the path with the on state. So there are two paths here, one for the idle to printing and the on. The other path is in the on state. So in other words, the printer will be either the idle or printing. So we call this the what we're mentioning a while ago, that this is an or state. It cannot be both. So it could be idle when it do nothing, it doesn't pre print anything, or it can be printing. It cannot be both. Cannot be, right? Cannot say that it doesn't print, then it is also printing. No, it's also only one state at a time. So notice that the print request doc, this label here, transition does have an argument being sent with the transition. So from an idle state, the printer will cycle between the idle state and the printing state whenever it is on the on state. So when the off button is pushed, the transition, the printer exits both on the on state and the either idle or printing state. So, okay, again, so it could also be in a loop. From an idle state, a print request happened and then it is printing. Now, after the print is completed, then it returns to being idle. So when it exits, when the button off is pushed, so it will transition again to being off. So this feedback line here, so it signifies a loop, or it represents a loop. So a transition from one state to another, uh, it it just a recurring process. So to give you a definition, concurrent states, this when an object is in one or more states at the same time. A path is a sequential set of connected states and transitions. Concurrent paths, it is when multiple paths are being followed concurrently. So example, when one or more states in one path are parallel to another two states in another path.